naman kagawa, iniche puto karaman korda. Kung kanikan para kurun, walang mo ganto kawakantam. Bangaracha tunggoa, tujhe suro pae ko japtam. Tu sobita ichi somya chats mogachi, tujhe gopam kelon kauletam.
Teacher, can you please tell us how Goa came into existence?
Well, the story of Goa's legend is restricted to the Parshurama legend, where Parshurama shot an arrow from the Sahyadris into the Arabian Sea, asking it to retreat to the point the arrow was shot. Now, the arrow is said to have sent the seas rolling back to create Gomantaka, which is now called Goa.
The Aryans first migrated to Goa around 2400 BC, followed by the Sumerians around 2000 BC. The second migration of the Aryan race took place in 700 BC and it consisted of Bojas, Kshatriyas, Chadyas and Saraswat Brahmins.
Goa was called Sunaprant by the Mauryas, and the dynasty was known as Konkan Mauryas. During this era, Buddhism was introduced to Goa, and this was during the rule of Ashoka.
The Aravali caves or the Pandava caves located in Bicholi town of North Goa have been claimed to be of Buddhist origin due to the presence of huge statue of Buddha near the place. The architectural style of the caves also speaks loud of Buddhist possessions.
Also, you have Buddha statues dating back to the 7th century, which was found at Rivona. Bojas ruled Goa from 4th to the 7th century AD, and their capital was located at Chandrapur, today known as Shandor. The early Boja rulers were Buddhists and later on began to follow Hinduism.
After the Bojas came the Shilaharas, who worshipped Lord Shiva. And the architecture of this period can be noticed in the Shilahara temple and Saptakoteshwar temple. Their capital was at Gopakapatnam.
Then came the Kadambas. They reached their height as gold coins stamped with the lion's crest of the Kadambas were found. They were worshippers of Shiva, and this can be seen at Lord Shiva temple at Tamli Surla. Saptakoteshwar was the family deity of the Kadambas, and Buddhism was on a decline during the Kadamba rule. So, Felisha, can you tell me where Goans lived earlier?
The early Goans lived in caves and used crude tools and led a life of food hunters. Limestone implements were found in River Valley of River Mandovi and Suvari. Arrowheads, awls, scrapers of quartz were found at Daboli, Ali, etc. Tools of later Stone Age such as blades and scrapers of silicous material containing silica were found at Old Goa, Mopa and Kudne.
An interesting find is at the Chikali Heritage Site, which has 3 separate burial chambers, but does not fall under the category of caves as they have no horizontal entrance. The entrance to the cave is by way of a rounded entrance in the ground. The chambers were probably used for burial of the dead. Okay, so is there any other site other than the Chikali Heritage Site that I just mentioned?
Yes, the Goan rock art at Pinsarangar is distinct as the carvings are engraved on very hard laterite platform. Over 100 figures are displayed on the exposed portion of the site depicting the symbols of wounded bisons, an animal's chase, zebra bull, a maze, a peacock, the deer, human figures, etc. Teacher, do you know who set up the first village communities in Goa?
The Mundari races such as the Kumbis, the Gaudas and the Veleps, they actually set up the first village communities in Goa, and they were called Gaukaris. Gaukaris cultivated paddy, nashne, and karvis or nustekas brought fish. Thus, rice and fish were the staple food of Goans. The tribal community men wore kashtis, and women wore the 5-yard knee-length sari tied in a knot called daintly.
There was no private ownership of land. Land belonged to the village community. Gaunkaris were headed by the village elders called Gaunkars, and Shigmo was the folk festival of Goa.
Good morning, friends. My name is Dr. Brennan Tavares, a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, and I'm calling to you from this marvelous land of Goa. I am very fortunate to be born and brought up in this land of paradise, blessed with its prestigious and serene beaches, a vast amount of greenery, and marvelous Portuguese architecture. Along with its courteous people, Goa is one of the major tourist destinations. Mother Earth has also blessed this state with a lot of natural resources, and iron ore is one of them. So mining and tourism have been the backbone of Goa's economy over the last few decades. Goa is known for its excellent education system. I was really fortunate to have been studying in one of the best schools. We have wonderful teachers, and our students are so talented that they actually excel not only in Goa but also internationally. What encourages me lately is our youth have shown interest in farming. We have plenty of water, fertile soil, and a wonderful climate with moderate amount of rainfall, very conducive for farming. And I'm sure the future of this state will be in very good hands, and all of us will strive to make Goa an excellent model state. Thank you.
आमचे गोंयचे खरें दायज म्हळ्यार आमची सोबीत सुंदर कोंकणी भास आनी संस्कृताय ती सांबाळून आमी फुडले पिळगेक दवरप हें आमचे गोंयकारांचें मूळ कर्तव्य जावन आसा. तेच पयलीं आमची शेतां, आमची भाटां, न्हंयो, दोंगर, व्हाळ, दर्यावेले बाग आनी रानां हे जावन आसात. त्या भायर आमचे जेवणाचे जिनस जावन आसात. म्हज्या स्पश्टपणान सांगूंक जाता की खंयचोय भोंवडेकार गोंयांत आयलो जाल्यार तो पयले सुवातेर आमचें दायज पळोवंक, चाखूंक आनी अणभवूंक येवजितलो. न्हंय आमची उदरगत.
I love Goa. Viva Goa.